When you think of Fyodor Dostoevsky, you expect tormented heroes. You expect philosophical rebels. Maybe even the devil himself shows up. But what if his most deeply unsettling character isn't some brooding intellectual, but a plump doctor with a friendly smile? Let's unmask this chillingly quiet character from his novel, The Double. And that line? It just gets right to the heart of it. What could possibly be more terrifying than a scream? Well, for Dostoevsky, it's the professional, smiling calm that comes right before your entire world is taken away from you. So let's meet the man behind this smile, Christiana Ivanovich Rutenspitz. Now, he only appears briefly at the beginning and then again at the absolutely devastating end of the novel. But in a story that's just swimming in hallucinations and uncertainty, he is the one terrifying constant. And this is the central contradiction of the guy. On the surface, Rutenspitz is everything you'd want in a doctor, right? Plump, calm, a picture of kindness. But Dostoevsky peels back that layer, and underneath, you find something else entirely. A figure of absolute, unwavering certainty, the very face of the institution that's about to swallow our protagonist whole. And this is his most crucial role. At the climax of the novel, as our main character, Golyadkin, is having a complete breakdown, it's Dr. Rutenspitz who just orchestrates his removal. His composure never breaks. That smile never falters. He simply watches a man's life end as he knows it and closes the door. So how does he do it? How does this kind-looking man become an agent of absolute terror? Well, it's all in his warmth. It isn't a comfort, it's a weapon. Let's really break down his methods. He speaks in these empty, soothing phrases. He gives those reassuring little pats on the shoulder. He smiles, beams even, as if a complete psychological collapse is just some minor inconvenience. The source text actually describes his warmth as unctuous, almost greasy. It's a warmth designed to pacify you, never to heal you. But you know what's truly terrifying? It's what's missing. Behind that professional facade, there is just a void. There's no anger at the patient's outburst, no fear of his instability, and absolutely no genuine curiosity about the human suffering right in front of him. He is simply an automaton running a procedure. This really gets at a concept called institutional benevolence. It's a kind of kindness that's so total, so all-encompassing, that it just suffocates you. It's a warmth that doesn't invite you in. It traps you, leaving absolutely no room to argue or resist. But this goes even deeper, because Rutenspitz isn't just a bad doctor. He actually represents an entirely new kind of power that was emerging in the 19th century, the cold, impersonal authority of bureaucracy and science. If you want to think about it psychologically, he's the ultimate enforcer of social norms. Not like a judgmental father figure, but more like a functionary, a medical authority who has the power to classify you, to diagnose you, and ultimately to dispose of you. Just look at his process. This isn't about healing. It is pure administration. He listens, he nods, he records his little observations, he signs the papers. A man's immense personal tragedy is just reduced to a 4-step workflow. And this signals a huge societal shift. Rutenspitz really embodies that moment when madness stops being seen as this profound, even tragic part of the human experience, and it just becomes another problem for an administrator to solve, a file to be closed. And here it is, the coldest truth of all. The horror of Rutenspitz isn't that he's evil. He's not a sadist who enjoys cruelty. Oh no, he's worse than that. He's just a competent professional, calmly and efficiently doing his job. And his job is to remove the problem. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is just some 19th century literary character. But the reason Rutenspitz is so chilling is that his particular brand of violence is terrifyingly modern. We see his echo all over our own world. Symbolically, that's exactly his function. He stands at the gate between a person's messy, complicated suffering and the clean, simple, absolute solution of confinement. He is the polite, rational face of a system that promises to cure you by simply locking you away. So let me ask you, where have you seen this smile? This calm, professional kindness that just feels off, that feels like it's managing you, not helping you. Because this archetype is everywhere once you start looking. It's the HR officer smiling calmly as you're being laid off, the well-meaning expert who reduces your life to a checklist. The detached therapist or the kindly cop who says everything's going to be okay while taking complete control of the situation. There's a name for this very specific type of harm: insidious violence. It's the violence that doesn't announce itself with a shout, but with a quiet smile. It's the violence that invalidates your reality, treating the complete dismantling of your life as just another routine procedure. And this just captures his impact perfectly. That final, friendly nod as the asylum carriage drives away, well, that is the modern world's shrug. The polite, quiet, and absolutely lethal dismissal of anyone whose despair has become too inconvenient. And that brings us to one final thought. Dostoevsky created this character over 150 years ago, and yet his smiling face is everywhere. So the question he leaves us with is one we really have to ask ourselves today. Whose polite violence are we accepting as care?